Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. Monday, December 16th, 2024. A new week. We're going to get through this, but we have a lot to talk about. So anyway, pre-market report. So the big deal this week, people, is this stinking Federal Reserve monetary policy announcement, which we're going to get again on Wednesday. Understand what we're looking at, people. Central banks, what are they doing? Again, as you know, working in concert to destroy the purchasing power of their currencies. And they are doing this via emergency monetary policy. That's what this is. You're not allowed to know that. And this mechanism here of artificially suppressing rates wipes out the purchasing power of the currency, but it sure as heck helps the stock market. Now let's talk about this real quick. So this is what everyone is talking about. It's all they care about. Stock market today. Dow futures rise on Fed decision as the countdown begins. Oh, Treasury yields are little changed as investors prepare for rate cut. All right. Now, just real quick on the back of the promise of more easy money and, of course, currency devaluation, you got stock futures higher. Not anything dramatic, but higher nonetheless. You know the mechanism here. It's a wealth transfer on a scale we've never seen before. It's a wipeout. I can't tell you this another way. But there's something going on here under the hood, okay, that you and I need to talk about. I'm going to show you a couple of other things in just a moment real quick. Actually, let me show you right now. So I already showed you this here with regard to stock futures. Bitcoin broke over 106,000. It has now come back just a little bit here. This is what we're doing this morning. So Bitcoin hovering around 103,000. Gold and silver catching a bit. US 10-year yield is slightly lower. Now, people, look, you know my take on this. Let me just tell you again. The key here is the federal funds rate, which there, in my opinion, look, now it's pretty clear to me. Again, in the beginning, I said the Fed would be very hard-pressed to justify a rate cut because inflation is still rising, but they're going to do it anyway. It's a method of destruction. So I'm going to say that the Fed's going to follow suit with the other central banks right now and cutting. Probably 25 basis points, we'll see. But this 10-year yield here. They're not going to allow it to make par with the federal funds rate, which right now the low end stands at 4.5. You understand? This would send a very bad signal to the stock market. And what do we know? The fat cats on Wall Street, their year-end bonuses are based on stock price, share stock price. The higher it is, the bigger and fatter their bonuses are, the more houses and mansions they could buy, the more Rolls Royces and Ferraris and freaking whatever the heck they want, land yachts and yachts. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it, for them at least? And where's that wealth come from? Well, from you. Have you seen what has happened here since the selection of the illustrious Trump? We have seen more cash be shoved into this market in a shorter period of time than I think there's ever been seen in history. And with regard to the cryptocurrencies, well, it's pretty much outpaced everything else. The game will remain risk on for the foreseeable future. I believe we are going to see rate suppression here by central banks buying it all like we've never seen before, and that means excessive currency devaluation. But more importantly, how is this going to affect you? First of all, the wealth is going to be stolen right from you. Again, your interest earning accounts are going to be robbed blind as the wealth is transferred right up to the 1% and 2%ers here. There's no reason whatsoever to keep a single dime of your cash in these institutions that you don't need to keep there. And you really should be looking into taking your cash out of these commercial banks and putting this into a credit union here again. I expect it's too easy, people. The fact is, we're going to see massive bank deregulation here as this I'm calling it an unholy alliance, the merger between cryptocurrencies and the banks. To bridge us into the new system, which we all know is coming. Everybody knows what's happening, but there's no pushback here. You understand? So they get away with whatever they want. They tell you what they're going to do before they do it. We're going to be the crypto capital of the world, not the constitutional money capital. Imagine, for example, we would have had a real presidential selectee that said, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to return to a constitutional money system, gold and silver. Okay. A commodity backed system. But no, we're being far removed from that. We're being vaulted, leading the way into the new system. And other countries are going to do the same thing. You watch what's about to happen. You're going to hear about this nation and that nation and this nation adding cryptocurrencies to their strategic stockpile. What do you think that's going to do to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies? You think it's going to make it go lower? I love you guys and girls. I'm sorry. I just chuckle once in a while. But what we need to be focusing on here, again, not just the fact that you're going to be robbed blind, not just the fact that the economy of the world is going to be wiped out via the mechanism of artificially suppressed rates, currency devaluation. These are economic wrecking balls. You know that. A machine is going to come through the world economy as a destructive force to the people, the middle class, the upper echelon of society. They're laughing and they're smiling because this is all, again, an effort to make them even richer as we are thrust into this neo-feudalistic society where they wipe out the middle class. The destruction of the world economy is going to propel world stock markets to heights you're not going to believe. Part of this, and we've touched on this a little bit, but I just want to outline this for you real quick now. You know I will study this data morning, noon, and night. I connect the dots. It's not too hard to do. What I see developing here, and it's pretty much a no-brainer, and you probably know this already in your own mind, okay? Because I know most of you out here, at least I hope most of you are able to see what's coming by just engaging your brain and, of course, using your God-given gift of intellect. All right. We are going to see food inflation, which is already outpacing everything else. And you knew this from years ago. What did I tell you? What did we cover right here on this blog? What did we say? That we would see food inflation outpace, well, every other type of inflation that's coming down the pike, of course. And that is exactly what's going to happen. Let me show you something here real quick. This is a headline from Market Watch. The bubble up in U.S. inflation is likely to end soon. You do realize that this is propaganda. The method here, or the mechanism of currency devaluation, is out of control. Well, in control. They're doing exactly what they want, but we're paying for it. Now, I don't want you to be led astray. There's so many people that write to me every day. Hey, Greg, but I don't understand. The dollar's getting stronger. The dollar's getting stronger. The dollar is not getting stronger. Stop looking at this through the window of comparative strength or relative strength. People, you know this. We've already covered this freaking for years. We have said right here on this blog that the relative strength or comparative strength of the dollar is going to remain high. It's going to be the prettiest belle of the ball for the foreseeable future. But that does not mean that the absolute strength regarding purchasing power of the dollar and other central bank issued notes which you're forced to transact in are going to be sucked out. Does this sound about right to you? You think I'm off base here? Do you realize what's happened collectively to the currencies being issued by central banks being wiped out? The dollar has already lost about 99% of its purchasing power. They want that last 1% as we're being bridged into the new system. You understand? New system is coming. Massively artificially suppressed rates are coming down. They already are. I mean, do you realize the situation that we're in? Probably, I hope if you follow this blog, you do. But most people have no idea of what's going on here. But when you see a headline like this, you realize that this is absolute propaganda. And the polar opposite is going to happen. Now, leading me back to what I was saying. Over the next, let's say 6 months, okay, just by connecting the dots, you can see, at least I hope so, what's going to happen. We are going to see food inflation, or again, when we're talking about inflation, what we're talking about is currency purchasing power losses. Okay, people don't even put that together. This is how dumbed down they've become. We're going to see, again, food inflation continue to outpace other types of inflation here, but it gets worse than that. Energy. We've seen quite a drop as of the last few months, maybe 2, with regard to energy prices. This is not going to last. In no way is this going to last. So you're going to see a rebound here in energy prices, including crude oil. So people, you know what I'm going to tell you. You need exposure to commodities. Come on, man. It's a no-brainer. You know that. With regard to what you're going to see here with regard to your grocery bills, price shock. Be ready for it. I already told you about this. I did like 2 videos recently about price shock, price shock, price shock. You're going to be shocked at what you're going to see over the next 6 months here with regard to rising food prices, with regard to energy, no doubt. And these things play on each other. You have to understand. Everything is shipped using energy, whether it's an aircraft, whether it's a ship, whether it's a truck, and those costs are passed on to you. You understand? So I want you to be on the lookout and prepare yourself for this right now. Much higher food prices, much higher energy prices, much higher cost of living. You understand? That's where this is going. And I'm going to tell you something else real quick. I know there's a lot of talk to the contrary, which we heard last time. I don't even want to go into the details of this. Any talk whatsoever about our trade deficit shrinking because of tariffs, again, we heard the same talk last time. Just please don't take my word for what I'm about to tell you here. Look at what happened during the last time Trump promised us that we were going to see the trade deficit shrink on the back of tariffs. It ballooned. So what's going to happen here? Who's going to make up the difference here? There's all this talk about let's cut government spending, and I'm all for cutting government spending here, okay? What that means is, okay, if in fact, if it even happens, we'll see cuts here, but it's going to be put someplace else. It's a ruse. It's another deceptive tactic here. So with regard to the trade deficit shrinking because of tariffs or anything else here, it's not going to happen. It's going to get much larger. Now, who makes up the difference when we run debts and deficits? Again, we can't continue to run these in perpetuity. It's the Fed. So let's say, for example, we cut X. Let's just give people the benefit of the doubt. We are going to see government spending get cut, which I don't believe. Okay, that's just me. But if it does happen, understand that you're going to see the trade deficits and debts balloon. So it's like taking cash from here and putting it over there. So central banks, in this case the Fed, is more than happy to make up those gaps in debts and deficits and whatever it might be. Understand? All it is a movement of cash from one place to the other, and they think that's going to appease you because they think you're stupid. You see, Greg knows you're not stupid, but that's what they're going to do. Mark my words. And if you don't believe me, save the video. Save this video to your computer or just write it down. Greg said that debts and deficits are going to continue to balloon. Although they might, and this is a big might, cut spending, that doesn't matter because it's just that cut is going to be used to make up the difference for debts and deficits. You understand? It can't stop. It won't stop. But no one's got the guts to tell you that. But anyway, you know it in your heart. You know it in your soul. Your mind is telling you the truth. Understand? I know you do. Or I should say overstand. Love you guys and girls from the heart with all I got. I mean that. Please share the video, get it out there. Let me know. Greg, you know what? You're off base here. Well, the bubble in inflation is really going to end. It's going to get better for all of us. And our dollars and euros, we're going to gain purchasing power. Inflation is going away. People, keep your eyes on where Bitcoin's going to go. Again, we got the Bitcoin president. This picture of him right there. And he's going to make sure that the bridge to this system, the new system, is built right in your face, right under your nose, very rapidly as we're pulled away from any kind of a constitutional money system. We're not going back. So just wake up. And I don't care what this state, Florida might be using gold-backed coins or whatever it might be. It ain't happening. We've heard this before in other states too. It just goes away. Because it's the federal government that kind of dominates this and said, they're not going to allow this to happen. States won't allow this to happen. They'll eliminate a state first. They'll erase it somehow by a nuke. It ain't happening. You understand? And they'll take down the whole freaking population. The Fed is not going to give up their stranglehold on us all by controlling the currency in whatever form it may exist. You understand that? You finally get it here? Why things are the way they are? Why Trump was selected as the figurehead here to bridge us into the new system? He's the proponent of negative rates, which we're going to get lower rates now. Do you see it? Oh no, you still don't. It still eludes your mind. Love you. Love you. You have no idea how much. All right, people, like I said, share the video, get it out there. You got something out of here, let me know out of this video. You know what to do. We're not going to stop doing what we're doing. Let them play their freaking games. They're not going to stop. Neither are we. And we can play the game way better than they can play. Why? Because they don't have our playbook. We have theirs. You understand? We can't lose. Love you, love you, love you. I'll see you later, people. 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern for the live stream. Have questions ready for me. Whatever you want to talk about. Let's just have some fun over there, all right? I'm looking very forward to the live stream. I always am. And with that said, until we meet again, people, what am I going to say? Take care of yourselves and take care of each other.